Welcome back, focused learners, to Decode Healthcare with Harshal, Part 2. Today, we're literally deconstructing the anatomy and structural blocks of an ICD-10-CM code. We're going to look at exactly how these codes are built, right from the ground up. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. What do you think happens when an ICD-10-CM code is submitted to a payer, but it's missing just a single required character? Just one little digit.
Immediate denial. Seriously? A single missing character means your medical claim is instantly rejected. All that hard clinical work just bounced right back, all because of one missing digit or letter. It's crazy. And that is exactly why understanding the specific format we're covering in today's explainer is absolutely non-negotiable.
Section 1. Anatomy of a code. The 3 to 7 character structure.
And this brilliantly illustrates the math behind it all. According to official guidelines, every single ICD-10-CM code is between 3 and 7 characters long, no exceptions. Now, the very first character, always an alpha character. It's got to be a letter. The second character is always numeric. Then, for characters 3 through 7, they can be either alpha or numeric. So if you take a look at a code like S82.101A, you can perfectly see that alphanumeric flow in action.
Section 2. Categories versus subcategories. Building the blocks.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Here is how that hierarchy actually breaks down. Step 1. The first 3 characters form what we call the category. This represents a single core condition or disease. Step 2. Characters 4, 5, and 6 create the subcategory. This gives us way greater detail like the cause, the specific anatomical site, or a manifestation. And step 3. That final 7th character is the extension, giving absolutely crucial information like whether this is an initial or a subsequent encounter for an injury.
Now we have to look at the CMS guidelines for this, specifically section IA2, because they are crystal clear on the rules here. A 3-character category only functions as a complete valid code if there are no further subdivisions available, period. If subcategories exist for that condition in the tabular list, you literally cannot just stop at 3 characters. And guys, we absolutely cannot forget this number, 7. If the tabular list requires a 7th character extension for a specific code category, which we routinely see with things like injuries, fractures, or poisonings, the code is utterly invalid without it. No way around it. And hey, if you have a code that is only 5 characters long but requires a 7th character extension, you are actually required to use a placeholder X just to bridge the gap and get to that 7th slot.
Section 3. The specificity trap. Why 3 characters aren't always enough.
So the crucial point is right here. A fully valid code is extended to its highest required specificity, taking up all 7 characters when needed. But what about a lazy, incomplete code that just gets truncated at the 3-character category level when subcategories clearly exist? Well, that is walking right into the specificity trap. It triggers that immediate denial we talked about at the very start of this explainer.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how incredibly strict the CMS mandate really is. Let me read this straight from CMS Guidelines section IB2. A code is invalid if it has not been coded to the full number of characters required for that code, including the 7th character if applicable. They don't leave any room for interpretation here, do they? You absolutely must code to the highest level of specificity that is documented in the medical record.
Section 4. Reporting and next steps. Wrapping up Part 2.
All right, here is your punchy, zero-fluff, rapid-fire summary of the most critical rules to take away from today. First, ICD-10-CM codes are exactly 3 to 7 characters long. Second, the first character is always alpha, the second is always numeric, and the rest can be a mix of both. Third, remember your blocks. 3 characters make a category, 4 through 6 make a subcategory, and that 7th is the extension. Fourth, you cannot stop at a category if subcategories exist. And finally, incomplete codes guarantee claim denials.
Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our next explainer. Coming up in Part 3, we're going to cover the use of these codes for reporting purposes. But before we go, now that you understand the precise anatomy of a code, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. How does this strict alphanumeric structure completely change the way we're required to report multiple, coexisting conditions on a single claim? We will decode exactly that next time. Keep learning, and I'll see you then.